Welcome back. A retired engineer put into a guardianship years ago is pleading to get his rights restored after a licensed psychiatrist says that he is capable of caring for himself.
But ABC Action News investigator Adam Walzer has uncovered legal challenges have prevented that doctor's opinion from even being considered.
So this is home sweet home.
Yeah.
This extended stay hotel has been Doug Keegan's home for 2 years.
Okay, so this is the kitchen. It's small, but it's got a microwave and a toaster oven.
744, that's the Florida guardianship statute.
Right.
Yeah.
Keegan has a makeshift law library on his fridge. His ride to the courthouse is parked by the door.
And transportation, my bike. Occasionally I take the bus.
And these binders contain copies of legal pleadings Keegan sent to judges.
Probably where I spend, 80% of my time. So I work on my laptop.
So Mr. Keegan can't do that. He doesn't have any rights.
Attorney Kyle Fletcher represents Keegan's guardian and is paid $350 an hour from Keegan's funds.
He's incapacitated, okay, which means he actually doesn't understand anything you say.
But in September, Judge Alan Apt questioned that after Keegan filed this 12-page report.
I set this hearing because I believed you had some capacity. Do you believe that you have capacity?
Absolutely. I'm just trying to inform the court that he does not have mental ability to understand logic.
He doesn't grasp what the judge is saying, if you understand what I'm saying.
The guardian's attorney wanted to appoint a court-appointed attorney, which I knew would be useless. I said, no. I said, I want my own attorney. And so after he said, do you know anyone? And I said, yeah, I know this Leslie Law.
Keegan met attorney Leslie Federigos through a guardianship reform Facebook group.
He's clearly got capacity. He's, been involved in this for 6 years, and he has tried multiple times, including from himself, to get out of this.
Keegan's guardianship started after he married a woman from Kenya who his family believed was financially exploiting him.
He found a Nigerian woman to marry off of Craigslist, the in-person Nigerian scam.
Contrary to Fletcher's assertion, Keegan says it was a legitimate marriage.
I had known her for a year. I brought her to my mom's house for Christmas dinner the year before.
We spoke to his ex-wife from Kenya, where she was visiting family over the Christmas holiday. She said she first came to the United States in 2002 and became a citizen in 2009, and she also confirmed it was a legitimate marriage. Keegan's family also sought guardianship because he had a history of alcohol abuse, which led to him being hospitalized.
Because I have a problem with alcohol, which is irrelevant to guardianship. You could be a gambler, you could be, morbidly obese, you could have a million problems. That's not a reason for saying put him in guardianship because he may hurt himself.
One doctor who evaluated him in 2014 says his drinking doesn't rise to the level of guardianship. But months later, a judge declared Keegan incapacitated.
They went in there and they stripped me of all my rights. They took all my money, took all my rights away from me.
You're a professional person.
I'm an engineer, electrical engineer, yeah.
Keegan's lucrative consulting work enabled him to buy a condo with cash and retire early. Now more than $200,000 he saved has gone to pay guardians and attorneys, while Keegan is only allowed to shop at certain places with a restricted debit card.
I'm allowed Denny's, McDonald's, Subway, Golden Corral, Chick-fil-A. And then there's a Dollar Tree I can go to.
They have him in a plenary guardianship, basically stating that he has no capacity to have any of his normal rights, but he's living in a motel with no supervision.
Well, Dr. Sieg, who is a psychiatrist, in other words, he's a medical doctor, determined that he had frontal lobe dementia.
That was in 2015. The Mayo Clinic says doctors should use blood tests, sleep studies, and brain scans to diagnose frontal lobe dementia. But Dr. Sieg's report doesn't indicate he did any of that.
What kind of test did he do to see that Mr. Keegan had this, do you know?
I do not know, but I know that the psychiatrist usually reviews all his medical history, okay?
Dr. C's report says he didn't talk to Keegan's regular doctor.
That diagnosis was very suspect, based only on a very cursory examination.
Retired internal medicine Dr. Sam Sugar founded Americans Against Abusive Probate Guardianships and has known Keegan for 3 years.
There's no evidence now that he suffers from any kind of dementia. So it's imperative that the court understand that people can recover, people can get better, and they no longer need the guardianship.
Judge App signed an order allowing Keegan to be evaluated by a psychiatrist from Boca Raton. That doctor determined Keegan had full capacity. Attorney Fletcher objected to not being properly notified and got a hearing with a different judge who overturned the doctor's appointment and appointed the doctor Fletcher recommended to evaluate Keegan.
They're contesting the doctor's report because he didn't get evaluated by the doctor they wanted him to be evaluated by.
And that is the modus operandi of this lawyer who goes around in other cases doing the same thing, finding someone she wants rather than what the parties agree upon or who's on the appointed list.
Why do you think it's important to use only the attorneys that are on your list there for your county and only the doctors that are on your list there for your county?
That's the way the law is.
And if the judge rejects it out of hand because he's not on some list, I think that tells you everything you need to know.
Dr. Sugarman seems to me is to be a bizarre person who absolutely has no idea what goes on in the law.
Keegan's attorney requested another hearing with Judge Apt. At that hearing, the judge picked a physician to evaluate Keegan from among 6 doctors offered by the two sides.
After all, what's at stake but a man's life? No big deal.
That was after Dr. Sugar sent the judge a letter asking the judge to grant Mr. Keegan a full and comprehensive reevaluation with an independent, third-party, fully qualified physician.
He's probably about as competent as Mr. Keegan.
It's horrible. You know, and anyone, you know, high level in government should be horrified by what they're seeing here in the courts.
I'm I-Team investigator Adam Walser taking action for you.
Keegan is expected to be evaluated by the new doctor next month.